going on. Because when you look at the Sesame credit score over in China, I mean, everything you do, everything you buy, this is one of the things in the newspapers they've been writing now. It's been over a month that there's enough food. They still continue this today. There's enough food for everybody. We know your buying habits based on your credit cards and based on the swaps and the WeChat Pay and WePay and all these things. We know what you pay, Alipay, whatever. Whatever you're using over in China to buy something in a supermarket, we already know your consumption patterns. If you start buying 3, 4, 5 times more, we're going to cut your social credit score because you're hoarding. So let's say I would go in and buy one 5-pound bag of rice every week for my family. Suddenly I'm in there buying 3 or 4 bags. So that's going to flag on the credit score, and you're going to get docked on your points, or somebody's going to come to your house and say, why are you buying so much? You're upsetting the system. You shouldn't buy 4. We got to save 3 for the other people over there. And now you're starting to make a problem because you're getting greedy with your food.
Well, I'd like to circle back to your social credit score about, what you talked about earlier. And I think people, sure, that's going on in China, but you know what? It's kind of going on here too, David. I'm thinking about this while you're talking about it. They're already starting to do that on social media here, on Twitter. This is shadow banning, and this knocking conservatives off or knocking liberty-minded people off of their platforms. That is almost kind of the beginning stages of this social credit score, right? I mean, because we're being punished because we don't conform to the norms of what's considered a normal society. And it's the same parallel over there in China, right? I mean, if you stop on the street and talk to someone with a lower social credit score than you, then that lowers your credit score, your social credit score, does it not? So it's almost like guilt by association, whether, you like Trump, guilt by association. I mean, it's already kind of going on here, is it not?
Yeah, that's the thing. That social credit score is a slippery slope because they're starting with the people you're connected to on the social media. So let's say, this person over here has a 400, you have an 850, and if you're connected with them on, we'll use Facebook or Twitter as equivalents here. They would knock your score and you'd get demoted for a few points. So what people have done is pretty much cleaned out their connections so that you can see what the score is for other people. That's the whole point, publicly shaming. So if you're below an 800, I'm going to cut you off my social credit. Don't call me, don't talk to me. I'm going to delete you off my phone. I'm not going to be connected to you with any way, shape, or form. I'm going to get you off the WeChat, get you out of my life because you're going to lower my score. Now, what is also happening at the same time is this brand new thing. I guess it's been going on for about 6 months. If you cross the street illegally, by the time you have walked across the street illegally against your red light, by the time you reach the other side, you have been facial recognized. They put your ID card and your name up on this big billboard and publicly shame you until the next person breaks the law. So you stay up there as long as, until the next person breaks the law to get their picture replaced there. Now, this is even in small towns, but people know you. But how scary is that? By the time you walk a crease, they facially identified you, matched your ID card, and put your public information up there so other people can shame you. How fast is that system? Scary. But again, if you're logged in as living in a city and they already tracked you and they know where you are, then they would only be regional. They would only be going within, I guess, that small database of that regional area compared to trying to run through 1.5 billion people's profiles. You could probably be brought down to like 1 million or 2, depending on the area. And they're following you from doorstep to doorstep, so you're kind of in the loop. But that's scary how fast it can happen from just crossing the street until you're on a billboard. Broke the law.
Well, they've already talked about, and they saw some of this in that very movie you were talking about, Minority Report. I believe that was the movie where you walk into the front of, you say you're at the mall, and you walk into the front of the particular store at the mall, and as you walked in, there's a giant, LCD screen there, and as you walk in, you've been facially recognized as you're approaching the doorway, and they've already got a profile set up for you. So when you walk through the door, it says hello and your name, and it lists some of the top items that you think that you may want to purchase and where they're located at in that particular store. So they're actually, here's what it comes. I mean, a lot of it, Billy, I know it sounds sinister, but there is a large portion of it that's just target marketing. They just want to make money off you. That's just what it comes down to. They just want to know about what your habits are so they can make money from you. I mean, there is a sinister side to it, don't get me wrong, but there is just a pure, unadulterated capitalist side to that whole scanning thing as well. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would. And how embarrassing is it for some people? Like, hey, the blow-up doll section's over there. You know, how can you go in there with a big billboard like that? Like, oh, that wasn't me. You know, but you're the product. You're the product. The information you give freely is the product. And again, you've let everybody track you through social media. And a lot of people go, well, David, you don't use Facebook. And I say, well, I only use it to post up stuff from Adapt 2030 and from my podcast, Mini Ice Age Conversations. I really don't use Facebook at all. I don't put my stuff on there. I barely use Twitter except for posting things that come and news links and, you know, our interview today and different things so people can come and watch the content. But as a personal guy out there, I rarely use the social media because I saw from the inception of that thing how nefarious it could be to track you. Because I was living in China. I worked in China. So when it came over to the United States and the whole global rollout of this social media, I'm like, hey, they already tracked everybody in China by this same stuff. I don't think I'm going to really get into it over here. Because even back before the Olympics, they were tracking people that way. They're using phone numbers and listening in. And you know, when social was just getting started, LinkedIn equivalents and that kind of Taobao and Alibaba, these kind of things that they got you in there to put all your buying information inside the Chinese equivalent of the Amazon or something like a search engine for different products. To get the buying habits, and I was thinking, if they got your buying habits, they already know what you're buying, where you're buying, how much money you make, and now we're looking into tax implications on something. So I really think crypto has a huge leg up, especially anonymity coins, if there could be true anonymity, because that purchase has to come in somewhere. But as we move forward, you know, you're really going to have to start to think about, if you're going to go in and buy 2 tons of rice on the book somewhere.
Hold on. We're just running out of time. I didn't realize how much time we only have like 45 seconds left. Give out your websites where people can find out more about you. I don't want you to get out of here without people finding out your great channel. You got a great channel. So let everybody know how they can find out about you.
Adapt 2030 on YouTube, where I go daily talking about the same issues, more in depth with slides and images so you can really delve into the temperature changes and the crop losses. And Mini Ice Age Conversations podcast, anywhere a podcaster hosted across the net, 30-minute episodes, more in-depth. You can take it on the go with you. It's about protecting your families. Knowing the changes and being able to protect your families is the reason I do the information. I mean, we all need to eat. And when these swift changes come through the economy, it's going to come in like a thief in the night. It's going to be here one day and you're going to wake up, everything's closed, no banks, nothing. And you're going to go, what just happened?